Blissy. Make sure the mics are on. Seem to be. Cool. Good girl. Oh, hi there. Bliss, get it. Good girl. Wake up. So we're just playing some catch with Bliss. Good girl. Good girly. Right, so who have we got on? Say hello, let me know who's on. Good girl. And that you can hear me, obviously. Should be good. And then we'll get started. I think, yeah, day 23. Wow. Day 23. Your Bliss. Come on, pop it. That's right. Oh. Bliss. Ready? Bliss. Good girl. Yes, good girly. Oh, got a few on now, so like I say, let me know who's on, let me know that you can hear me, and then we'll get cracking on Toy Switch. It's one of my favourite games, this one, so yeah, hopefully you can all hear me. In this glorious afternoon. Some, like I say, I'm going to need to put some sun cream on, I think. I'll be burning my head alive. Bliss, come here then, girl. Get it. Good girl. Right, so has everyone watched the video? Oh, good timing for Bliss. Just bear with me as I go and tend to duties. Quite apt, that will keep her focused during the session, right? Good girly. Okay, so has everyone seen the video? Everybody watched, everybody up to date? Anyone got any questions on any of the things that they've seen so far? Okay, so day 23, Toy Switch. It is one of my favourite games. It's a really powerful game for prevention of things like resource guarding. So I played this very early on with Bliss, and the key to, I suppose, success in this game is starting off with, as you'll notice, got two toys. I mean, this one's seen better days now. Look at the state of that one. But we have another one. So we have two of those. We also have two white sheepskins. We also have two black ones, similar. And then we also have two sort of more brightly coloured ones. So I tend to play this game with two very similar objects. You can then add in other toys. So obviously this is a puller. I really like these actually. So when you're out and about, if you're in a park, these, I mean, you probably see they get a bit chewed and battered, and over time, you know, they will succumb. But the great thing about them is that you just throw them like that, and they just keep rolling. They just keep going and going and going. So they're great fun, and you can play tug. They're fairly robust. I mean, I had the smaller ones. I think this is the large, and I've got a jumbo as well. Or this is, anyway, pullers. They're really good. So the point of toy switch is that the dog will be playing with one item, and then you're going to almost kill that one off. So it's going to go still, and then you're going to animate the other one. And the idea is that the dog will switch to the other one. It may take them a little bit of time. You may need to sort of immobilize it a little bit more. But as they let go, then you're going to issue the word switch. And over time, switch will start to have a meaning, and they will start switching out straight away. And the reason why that then prevents resource guarding is because the one that you've got becomes the sexier one. The one that's being animated is more fun. And so what you can do eventually then is to drop this toy. They may go off with that one, but you're going to animate this one, and they'll come back and get on there. Okay, so see if Bliss is going to be interested, because Bliss is quite happily again just chasing around after sunlight. So if I just lower that down, just figure out where I need to be. Right, okay, and then hopefully she will start on this one. So Bliss, we got, good girl, get it. Hopefully you can see, just move her into shot. So we get her playing with one, and then as we sort of kill that one off, we go, right, switch. And then she swaps onto this one, play with that one, and then switch. So I say, if your dog isn't, you can actually just sort of wait, just hold that one off, and then you can just switch. And you can see as you kill it off, switch. She moves on to the other one, switch. And we're just adding the word as they move over. And then eventually you can be doing this, switch, switch, switch. Good girl. So you can see how she can then swap over onto the other item. You can also, good girl, let her have that one, and then switch as she has that one. And you can see how she's still got that one in her mouth, but what I can do is switch. Don't pester her, don't nag her, don't grab it off her, just keep animating the other toy. And if I need to, I can let her have that one, and then I can kind of go, right, move over with this one. Yes, good girl. And then you can start adding the switching. So that's the two white ones. Out. Good girl. Just pop them up there for now. Shoot. Bliss, leave it. Leave it. Madam. Leave it. Thank you. This way. We can then get the two frisbees. Okay. I've just seen a comment, so we'll just see. Oh, hi Elaine. Right, so we've got the two frisbees, and we can go. Ready? Get it. Good girl. Now these are tug enough frisbees, and I like these because they're fabric, and so they, as you can see, they scrunch up. Because good girl, fit in your pocket. Really, they float. You know, they do. Yes. So what you can do is, as they switch and release, you can just go switch. Yes, good girl. Switch. Yes, good girl. Switch. Yes, good girl. Out. And then we can pop them up there. Leave it. This way. Bliss. Good girl. We can then pick up, say, the two black coloured ones. Switch. Right, switch. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Switch. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Ready? Switch. Oh, switch. So you can see how I just have to animate that one a little bit more. She wants this one, but keep moving that around. And then, good girl. Bliss. Blissy. Thank you. we can then get the two coloured ones and then see which one she likes the most. So you'll see, Bliss. Yes, good girl. So I think she's kind of liking the light. Yeah, she's looking at the shadows. Bliss. Come on then, get it. Get it, get it, get it. Good girl. You all right, girlie? Had enough. Oh, have I got food dropping out of my pocket? No, it's a stone. Okay. But if she has enough, I'm not going to sort of push her on to something else, but you might find that she likes the puller. Just going to throw it, let her go and chase after it. Now I have got two of these, but I've only brought one out, so. Bliss, where is it? Go get it. Get it. She's bothered by the lights now. Bliss. Good girl. So I'll bring her back onto one that she's kind of really into, so onto the white toy. But what we could do is we can then add in the complexity of switching between frisbee, switch. Good girl, switch. Good girl, switch. Good girl. Out. Get it. Switch. And then see if we can, yeah. Obviously you can see now we've got the animated toy is more fun, so we can let that one go, and then it's, yeah, switch. Good girl. Let that one go. Bliss. Get it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girlie. And I think we will, and there she's more interested in the shadows again. Blissy. Ready? Good girl. Good girl. Ready? Good girlie. Good girlie. Yes, good girl. Good girlie. Ready? Yes, good girl. Brilliant. Okay, so that is toy switch. Use a mix of toys. Okay, so anyone got any questions on toy switch? And you can see one of the things by having those toys is you can see which ones she values. And she values a frisbee. This. Good girl. Yes, good girl. So she likes the frisbee. Okay, but you can, what I would probably do is start on lower value toys, because if you start on the highest value, that might be tougher for her unless you've got two high value toys, and then she can switch between them. But the idea is simply kill one off, so you just hold it still. Okay, so just hold it still, animate the other one. As she releases this one, you add the word switch as they move on to the other one. And it just, again, just means that when they're out and about, you can just swap them between toys. Okay. So anyone got any questions? Anything doesn't make any sense? Or does it make perfect sense? I hope so. I'll just see if there's any questions that come through. But if you have in particular, again, if you have got a resource guarding dog, obviously one of the things that I do like is these ones, because they have that longer handle. So all right, Linda. So okay, so there are toys for me that you can leave your dogs with. Oh, thanks, Bliss. She's just ploughed through. So there are toys that you can leave with your dogs to play with amongst themselves. But to be fair, what you remember with toys is that they don't see toys the same way that we do. When I'm playing with this sheepskin tug toy here, this is prey. So, sorry, I think I just dropped out then. So you stalk, chase, capture, kill, dissect, consume, which we could add in possess as another element in there. So we are tapping into the prey drive. So when you two dogs are playing it and they're ripping things apart, they are technically killing it. Okay. Now, one of the reasons why I like to play with these is, and only have them with me, is because I want the value of items like this to be with me. So when we're out on a walk and we're talking about being sexier than a squirrel, I've got all the ammunition with me. There are toys that I do leave out for my dogs. They tend to be some of the harder wearing toys, like Kong toys, maybe filled with some of their dinner, maybe bones for them to chew on. And then there are things like this. So this is a jumbo bone. They will tug between each other with it. They're quite good because it helps clean the teeth off. So some of these things can be really good. You just have to watch out with the smaller dogs that if one big dog is whacking us about, that knot is quite substantial. But if the dogs are always getting their enjoyment by playing with each other rather than you, where's the value? Okay, so the value will be in playing with other dogs. So I try and make sure that there is a balance between how much free time Bliss gets to play with all the dogs, because obviously I have a daycare normally, and this place would be full of dogs running about and they can entertain themselves. And if Bliss had too much value in being entertained by all those other dogs, then she loses that value in me. So it's about that fine balance, because dare I say it, we may want, and I see so many owners with it, where they leave their dogs to do whatever they want, and the dogs are busy playing in streams, playing in bushes, playing with other dogs, playing with other people, chasing other balls. And then when they want their dog back with them, the dog just doesn't come and listen to them, and then they get frustrated and annoyed with the dog. So then when the dog finally comes back to them, they tell it off. They get annoyed. And it's kind of frustrating for me, knowing obviously what I know, when I see the poor dogs going, oh, I was just enjoying myself. You were quite happy for me to enjoy myself when you were walking or talking with your friend, and then I'm off doing whatever I'm doing, and then you want me back right now. Well, it's not a good deal, is it? It's not good for the dog. So obviously for me, that's why I make sure that I have certain toys that will only ever be played with me. So Linda, I hope a bit of a long-winded answer, but yeah, you can have toys that your dogs can play with between themselves, but always make sure there is a balance between saving some of the high value toys to be played with you and only you. Okay, that's what creates the value in you, is those toys, that food, that experience of being around you. Okay, hope that's answered that question. Okay, so laying, what have we got? My Springer loves playing like this, but doesn't know when to stop, constantly bringing me toys and placing them on my lap. Okay, so what you've got here is a learnt behaviour, really. So a lot of people, I mean, I remember hearing lots of trainers talk about this being dominant. So they'd be saying, oh, your dog's trying to be dominant over you to get you to play with it. Nah, does dominance exist in dogs? Of course, social hierarchy exists in dogs. There is certain behavioural traits, just as there are in every animal species. Blissy, good girl, go get it. Just as there is in every animal species. But do they sort of want to be dominant over us? No, they don't. But what they learn is that when you play with the toy, okay, they're having fun, they're being rewarded for playing with the toy. So what they learn is, well, okay, if I bring you the toy, and in the very early days of this, I can guarantee you probably did start playing with them, because you'd have thought, oh, that's really cute. Dog's picked up a toy, walked it over to me, dropped it in my lap, they want to play, so you play. Now what that does is that then basically means that they've been rewarded for bringing the toy up to you and then playing with it. And then over time, it gets maybe a little bit tiresome. And then sometimes you're in the mood to play and sometimes you're not. So sometimes you will absolutely play with them and sometimes you will ignore them, and then they'll come and put another one in your lap and they'll try harder. Now that's because we've done this thing of putting that behavior onto variable reward ratio, which basically means that we play with them sometimes but not others, and they just learn to keep persevering and trying harder. So the key for me is almost looking at the signals as to working with that to say, well, okay, I can see that they're going to pick up a toy and they're going to bring it, so I might preempt that and go and cue them over to me before they get the toy and bring it over. So I then make it that we're telling them that they're going to play. And then the other thing to do is you just have to be really good at going, right, we're going to have to push this into extinction, and then suffer potentially what they call extinction burst. So extinction is where a behavior just stops. So it no longer gets the reward, therefore the behavior stops. But before extinction, there tends to come this thing called extinction burst, which is where the dog will try even harder to get what they previously got rewarded for. So if you look at some collies, that could go from, they want you to come and play with a tennis ball, so now they're going to grab your sleeve and tug on your sleeve and bark at you, and then you're going to give in. So they learn that, well, they escalate and then it works. Okay, so for me, if they bring me a toy, I might just pick it up, walk away, pop it on the side out the way and go and sit back down. And then if they bring me another one, I'll do exactly the same again. And then eventually they may choose to lay down at my feet. And it is at that moment that I will then say, even whether I don't want to play with them or not, but that moment that they lay down by my feet is the time that I get up, go and get the toy or the ball that they've brought me and go, right, let's go play. So what I'm trying to do there is to mark the behavior I like with the reward, and the behavior I liked was laying down. So therefore I lie down and go and play. But I think it is important to understand that your dog also may want to play at certain times, and it's not always about us playing when we're ready. Sometimes it is about spotting the signal with your dog, but for me it's just changing that dynamic of just saying, well, okay, I can see they want to play, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to maybe redirect them on something else, whether that's throw a bit of food down for a bit, or scatter feed on a snuffle mat for a little bit, and then go, right, come on, let's go play. So you're still picking up on the signal that your dog wants to play, but you're just changing the dynamic rather than it being a demanding behavior, because that's what we want to stop. Because otherwise, once they've got it as a variable reward ratio strong, they can keep trying and trying and trying and trying. So I hope that makes a bit of sense, Elaine. Hope that answers your question. So that's good, as I only play with okay, I'll get some toys for us to play with together. Yeah, I think, you don't need to have loads. I mean, and I will be honest with you, I mean, some of the things I do with Rebel, and I haven't got it on me actually, but look at this one, is that I've actually made, I mean, this is one that I've bought, but actually I've made some things like this myself. So I've got lots of fleece upstairs, and I cut them into strips, and then we just fold them over, and you get this box pattern, and you get like a fleece toy. Great video on YouTube actually of how to make squirrels. So if you need to search on YouTube, it's a great YouTube video, how to make squirrels. You can make them in, God, what, I don't know, I think I've made them now, I can make them in less than 5 minutes. So it's just, if you've got an old fleece jumper that you don't want to use, cut it into strips. You do need the strips to be about 1.2 meters longish. So you might need to tie a couple of bits together, but all you do is you just fold them over, have 4 strips, and then you just fold them, pull them tight. And then once you've got the top end done, it's very easy. Just keep flipping them over and tying them, and you get loads of tug toys that are just available. Just really easy to use, but something like that is suitable. Okay. Okay, so yes, you are right. I drop them into a bucket until I'm ready. Yeah, okay. And so what I would do there is, again, probably just to change the event, is maybe give them something else to do instead, so that they're not necessarily always being persistent. But then sometimes just saying, well, okay, they're ready to play, and then just doing something different, even whether that's walking to the kitchen, getting a drink, and then saying, right, let's go outside and play. Just so there's that delayed gratification away from the link of, I come and get you, you come and do that, because that will feed into other behaviors as well, because they just learn that if I get your attention, I can get you to do stuff. And it's not done with any malice thought. It's just a case of, it's a learned behavior that just goes, well, if I do this, I get that. Well, if I tap at the door, you open the door. If I bark at the neighbour, they go away. So if you think about that in the scenario of looking out of your front window, someone's walking past your window, they bark, they happily just go away and walk past. So they actually reward your dog for you without you even being part of that equation. So it's just thinking about the dynamics. But yeah, so I think absolutely just mix it up. And also, if they do come to you for a play short and then pack up, and you can always start again later. So sometimes for a dog, just having that one little moment is all that's needed to satisfy a little bit of a desire. They're not always after a 30-minute play session. Okay, so that's Toy Switch. Hopefully I've just answered a couple of questions there. So that makes sense. Just let me know if you do. Give me some thumbs up, or just let me know that that answered those and was understandable. Blissy, come here. Come here, monkey. Come on, Bliss. Pop it. Come on. There you go. Good girl. Yeah, good. But if you have got any further questions, obviously you can still post. I will upload this onto the page. Brilliant. Thanks, Linda. And just have a go. Let's see some of your videos of Toy Switch. You know, I say, you're not looking for them to respond to the word, you're just looking for them to swap when you kill off the other one, and then you add the word as they do the action. So that's the way that I train a lot, which is waiting for dog to give me the action, and then I pair the word with the action. It's a much easier and faster way to learn for the dog. Often, you know, when we try and get a word and try and get the dog to do something to the word, whew, believe it or not, the scientists have figured out that can take anything up to 400 repetitions. So you can see that it can be quite hard. So pairing a word with the action can happen really quickly. You ready, Bliss? You did ever so well there, girl. Right. So I think we're just about done. If you've got any more questions, or if you just needed anything, any other fine pointers, I can give you another quick demonstration. But I think realistically, you know, kill the toy off. When they release to the next toy, say the word switch, or, you know, whatever word you want it to be, swap them out, and then once they go back, swap again, and then mix up the items. Then you can go up the stimulus level into more stimulating toys that they find more arousing. But as you can see, what girl? Oh, what you heard? Good girl. Right, cool. Anyway, let's see some videos. Brilliant, Sylvia. No problem at all. So have a play, have a practice, get some videos over, and God, day 24. But the good news is, obviously, as you've probably already seen, we've got another 5 days on top. So we've extended for another 5 days. So we've got 5 more games after that. It was originally 25. So that's great. I mean, can't believe it's gone over so quick. So seen some fantastic videos. It's nice to see people trying, and I say it's not about perfection, it's about just increasing that bond with your dog. And yeah, hopefully we carry on with some nice weather, and I will see you tomorrow.